Howdy, Cherry here, and welcome back to my channel. I recently finished watching Hazbin Hotel, and I enjoyed it. It's definitely not a perfect show by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also really fun. I enjoy stories with a good-evil subversion like that, where the traditional villains are the protagonists, and the traditional heroes are the antagonists. I'm actually developing a comic with a similar sort of premise, where instead of it being a superhero origin story, it's a supervillain origin story. It's still in development though. I still need to get the character designs smoothed out and draw them a bunch just to figure out what they're going for, what they're about, and I also kind of just want to draw in Vivziepop style, or at least mess around with her proportions, so I thought it might be fun to redesign some of my comic characters as characters in Hazbin Hotel. First up is this character. A little while ago I saw a Tumblr post that said something along the lines of, there is a point as you're developing your OC where you either know their name or their face, but not both. I know her face. I know what she looks like. I haven't actually drawn her as much as some of the other characters, but that's because I have a pretty solid idea of what I want for her visually. But I have no idea what her name is. I've been calling her Ruby sometimes in some file names, just because that's a girl's name that starts with R, but I don't really like that name because her main color scheme is purple and green, not red. Because, you know, purple and green are the traditional supervillain colors. For this redesign, I almost changed it to red and purple to fit the color scheme of Hell a little bit better, but then I remembered that that's basically Velvet's color scheme, so I went with her original one. I just shifted it a little bit cooler and added some blue-gray in there for the skin, and a pop of blue for the eyes. She's also a little bit heavier than most of Vivzie's characters. I'm so glad that Mimsy exists, because I would have struggled way harder with this if she didn't. But I do think at least starting with her made me better at understanding Viv's proportions, because I had to change them up to make it fit her. Even though her body type and color scheme are very, very different to the rest of the cast of Hazbin Hotel, she does wear a lot of suits and bow ties. She's usually a little bit more business casual in the comic, but I figure I'd just go full throttle suit and tie for this design because it's just something that shows up a lot in Hazbin Hotel. She's also holding a microphone because she's a reporter in the comic, and I figure that same sort of thing would carry over for this AU, I guess? I'd like for these characters to not meet until the afterlife. So in her human life, she was probably doing something like, I don't know, digging up dirt on people to make them look bad and frame them, even if they didn't deserve it, which they probably didn't. She works for the news and probably Vox Tech by extension, hence the sort of Vox color scheme for the mic. Also, I did a little bit of research into the character designs of this show to do this, and it turns out a lot of the characters have some very, very slight animal inspirations. And I say very slight because I think these characters used to literally be animals for the whole Zoophobia comic that got redesigned over and over and over until they're basically just normal looking people that happen to have one or two character design choices based on their original animal. So I wanted to try to do something like that but reverse engineer it instead. For this girl's animal, I wanted to do something that was
intelligent and curious, but also kind of evil. I don't know if Octopus was the best fit for it, but I really like Splatoon, and I play an Octoling in that game, and I've gotten an appreciation for octopi, so I gave her some design choices that were inspired by octopuses. Mostly the hair, I tried to style it so it kind of looked like tentacles. I gave her some pearl earrings. You could sort of imagine that the cooler color scheme ended up being retroactively an ocean theming, and also she has tailcoat that's meant to sort of look like tentacles. You just can't see it in this pose. But yeah, no, that's this girl's character design if she were a demon in hell. You could send me suggestions for her name, her real name, or this one or whatever. Next up is Dr. Blob. This is the guy that the webcomic's named after, actually. His name's actually just Dr. Roberts, but his supervillain name is Dr. Blob. I don't actually have any nice polished drawings of him. You'd think that an amorphous blob of human flesh would be easy to draw, but as it turns out, I have no idea what kind of rules he's got going on for his design, so I don't have too much to show for him right now. I thought it'd be fun to turn him into literally just an animal though, instead of making him animal inspired to sort of set him apart from the more human looking characters. I turned him into a leech specifically because I thought those are kind of freaky looking. I also gave him like a lab coat and arms and stuff because I have no idea how Vivziepop would interpret a character like this or draw a character like this. But I was just thinking about that one character in that Happy Day in Hell song that's like a slug. You know the guy, you know the joke. Backstory wise, the comic is basically his supervillain origin story, so I don't want to get into it. But for the reinterpretation here, I figure he just like got screwed over by some colleagues and never really let it go. And so he was just bitter for the rest of his life and got sent to hell because of that. And hell, maybe he was like a really old physical doctor who were like, you know, one of those types that would use like leeches for bloodletting and stuff. But I don't know, he's more of like a sciencey doctor. In hell, he probably makes like parts for weapons and stuff that he sells to Carmilla or something. But yeah, here's Dr. Roberts. Last character I'm doing today is Lane. This is the reporter girl's girlfriend. Need to mention that out the gate. You know that thing I mentioned earlier about either knowing a character's name or their face? I know Lane's name. I have no idea what she looks like. I know she's kind of sporty. I just don't know how to draw sports clothes or even how to design a character who wears that sort of stuff. So with her demon outfit, I kind of just did whatever. I thought it might be fun to give her like some slightly ripped up clothes because she's also like a little bit crafty in the comic. She likes like repairing her own clothes and stuff. But the ripped up shirt and stockings plus the athletic shorts and her main color being red means that her design, I feel, looks like very Vivziepop and very Hazbin, which I'm very happy about. When trying to come up with a backstory as to why she'd be in hell, I actually struggled a lot. In the comic, she's sort of like a voice of reason. Like, she's just like a good person who's only wrapped up in all the supervillain stuff because she doesn't want her girlfriend to get hurt. So in a world where she never met her girlfriend, I think she probably would have like cured cancer or some shit. She would just be like one of the best people on Earth. I've been told that Hazbin is doing that sort of thing where most of the people on Earth get sent to hell and only the best of the best get to heaven, but Lane's making it into heaven. I can't see any way around it. I figured she wouldn't be like an exterminator or anything, just like a regular citizen of heaven who didn't know about them, who ended up getting a little bit nosy and following them into hell, discovering what was going on and being like, oh, I'm gonna tell all of heaven, so you have to stop this. And the exterminators were like, oh, so you're gonna try to stop our holy crusade? That's a sinful move, and then threw her in hell. I'd like to think that she has like some kind of sick ass scar on half her head, which is why she keeps that half shaved. I also didn't really have much of an animal theme for her. I wanted to do something winged, but I couldn't think of anything. I think she sort of ended up with a fairy theme because she's got a lot of different like shapes and like her ears and her eyes that sort of look like butterfly wings, and she's got that sparkly pattern on her shirt. But yeah, that's Lane's finished design as a fallen angel, I guess. And here's all of the designs all together. This was really fun. I actually really liked drawing in Viv's style. I might do it again at some point, maybe like a Hazbin Hotel redesign or something. I don't know, it seems fun. Comment down below if you want something like that, or if you have name ideas for the reporter or something. I like to do a lot of these sort of character design, character redesign things on my channel, so if you liked this, then go ahead and subscribe to get more of this sort of stuff. And yeah, that's all from me today. I've been Cherry, and I'll see y'all next time.